rivals on the grid. There is Simon Harrison and Tony Rokanen a little further forward in the other GR Asia Honda. Championship points then, Dirk leads by 1 from Andy, Gabrielli and Jörg tied in 3rd, Fabrizio Giovanardi in 5th ahead of Augusto Farfus, Antonio Garcia and Frank Diefenbacher with the 10 points, the equivalent of what the winner will get here. So Tarquini came with 40 points, still has 40 points. If he leaves with 40 points, it won't be a tough weekend, it'll be a near disaster for him as well as for the rest of the Auto Delta team. Mechanics clearing the grid, the engines all hopefully started successfully. No Valentino Rossi Yamaha moments here, and the Seat of Rickard Rydell will lead them around a parade lap from the front of the field for the first time. And David, perhaps now a chance for Rickard to show that he can find the pace in this Seat that he's not been able to display so far in race form. We know he can drive, he hasn't forgotten how. Let's see if he can get it together in this race.
I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get it together. After the last race at Magny-Cours, Seat stayed on at that circuit to try and do some testing, and Rickard came away from that test very happy with the car, very pleased with his performance. He actually ended up going around quicker than what the pole position time was for the race there. So he feels that he's made a real improvement and moved forward. Unfortunately, he had to have an engine change before this race, and that's why he started at the back of the grid on the first race. But he's got himself up to 8th place from the back of the grid, and that means that he's now on the pole position. He'll be looking to try and capitalise on that. He knows he now has a car, he understands a lot better. That was only the 2nd test day he's ever had in the Seat car. So he feels much happier now. He's had more time in the car on a test day rather than just a race weekend, when you're very restricted to time. You're also very restricted to tyres and things like that for running and racing on. So he's much happier now with it, and I'm pretty sure that he will be right at the front. As you said, he hasn't forgotten to drive. He is an ex-British touring car champion, and I'm sure that he will give it his all starting from the front of this grid. And as we've seen before, we've seen a race at the front with the BMWs and the Seats, and now we can see 3 Seats right up front along with the rest of the BMWs, and I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to be. Yes, I think Luca Rangoni on the front row beside Rydell will eventually work his way back down to about 6th or 8th, and I'm pretty sure that's where he's finished. Garcia certainly has the pace to be up there. He's always just a little bit slower than the works cars. We've seen that once Andy Priaulx got past him in the first race and he was able to pull away, and he was just hanging on there. But hanging on was what he was doing, because he didn't quite hang on long enough. We've seen him spin trying to hang on to that 2nd place, didn't quite hang on to it. So I still think it'll be a real battle between the Seats that have now got the first podium position this year and the European Touring Car Championship. We know they've already won a race in the British Touring Car Championship, and they really are buoyed up, ready to go. They want more podium finishes. They've got that first podium finish with Jordi Genet in the first race, and they really feel that they've now got the car and the drivers and everything is working to be up there, and I think this will be quite a good battle between the Seats and the BMWs.
Absolutely right. Luca Rangoni, the man really not out of his depth in terms of talent, but with a year-old Alfa, may not be able to hold a candle to the front-running cars, but we'll have to wait and see, because Rangoni is a very experienced racer. May not know the Alfa hugely well, but he is a very quick boy indeed. Andy Priaulx going through the shot there in 8th place, the BMW GB car. His teammate Kurt Mollikens further down the order after getting involved as an innocent bystander in the red gangbusters that was the Alfa Romeo disaster at the first corner. Magnussen ahead of Coronel, Zanardi, the Honda of Baltzan going through shot as well, and the rest of them coming through. The halt and the lame in race 1, who in fact Baltzan and Bartian were the last 2 finishers, the 14 cars that finished race 1. And as we heard already, Fabrizio Giovanardi and Augusto Farfus of the Auto Delta Alfa Romeo team will not start race 2 after a 3-way collision that cost the Auto Delta team any points whatsoever for any of its drivers. But Gabriele Tarquini there at the back of the field is going to start the race. And we've already seen Rickard Rydell came through from last in the full field to 8th place, so points for Tarquini definitely not out of the question in this slightly depleted field, with Simon Harrison right at the back, hoping to at least get 1 racing lap of Hockenheim this weekend in the Honda after not even completing 1 lap in race 1. Man with the green flag clears the back of the grid, so the lights will go to on, and Ricard Rydell will set the biting point of the clutch, build the revs up in the Seat Toledo Sport from pole position on the right hand side. He leads the field away. Immediately you see the nose of the BMW starting, but Rydell is a canny warrior, goes right across the nose of Rangoni to mean that Garcia has to go around the outside. Can't get the lead, Antonio Garcia. Look at Jörg Muller around Luca Rangoni as we ride on board with Dirk Muller. There's Jörg on the left, gets around Rangoni. Diefenbacher doesn't. Garcia braking hard down into second gear for the second right-hander. But still, it's Ricard Rydell who leads. Garcia second, Dirk Muller in third. Further back, we'll have to watch the progress of Tarquini in long shot. We're riding on board with Diefenbacher. Diefenbacher in fifth place. And right behind him, already Luca Rangoni being shuffled down the order. In fact, Diefenbacher's up to fourth because Luca Rangoni has been shuffled down, and Rydell's in a BMW sandwich. It's Garcia who gets the lead, and Rydell got shoved out, but he's coming back in. It's Diefenbacher with Dirk Muller. In fact, Jörg Muller with the black windscreen strip, the 42 car. Wow, this is exciting stuff. Rangoni already squizzled down the order a little bit, gets back inside Dirk Muller. He had a great run up the inside line. I told you he's no slouch, Rangoni, in that Oregon purple, green and yellow car, but it just can't hang on there. It really having a bit of the shakes as we rode on board with Dirk Muller, and right behind him is Andy Priaulx trying to get through. Hockenheim behind Andy.
Yeah, the Seats, you can see, really are right up there. They're hanging in second and fourth place. There's Dirk Muller up the inside of Rangoni now. Andy Priaulx's got to try and do the same thing in order to get through and follow this all works, what will become all works cars at the front. Andy Priaulx didn't quite make it past Rangoni that time, but I can't see it being much more than two more corners before he gets there.
Seat's looking very aggressive. Diefenbacher really pushing hard indeed at Jörg Muller, the 42 car, right in front of us as we ride with Frank, running out wide. Knows the track well from his junior career racing here in Germany. It's Garcia who leads, Rydell in second from the front row of the grid, and in third place the number 42 BMW of Jörg Muller, the first of the white cars, and Priaulx pushing inside Rangoni and trying to hold off. Hockenheim does both. Rangoni cuts across the corner and comes back at him, but can't quite hang on to it. Not quite as much grip out there on the loose stuff as Andy Priaulx had, despite fighting off Hockenheim. And I think Rangoni is going to be left to his own devices to battle Hockenheim. Oh, a huge move down the inside by Diefenbacher. Gets inside but can't hold on to it. I think he missed a gear or two on the exit there as well, David, and came up with a box full of neutrals. He lost far more places than really he should have done there.
He just drove down the inside just far too fast, locked the back of the car up, slid into it. Lucky he didn't take somebody else out as he went through, but as he went through he lost all the time. He just had to go down into first gear and try and work his way up. But there we can see Tarquini right in the middle. He's through past Magnussen, he's now in behind Balsen with the Honda there, and he's got to try and get past that. So he's working his way up towards those points.
Well, at the end of the last lap he was in 14th, and now he's up into 12th, and there is Diefenbacher again testing the gravel out there. This is his favourite section of the track, he says, but boy, he's really all over the road at the moment. And there is Diefenbacher, the back bumper trailing. And
that won't help him at all, because that back bumper trailing out there acts as a bit of a windbreak and actually slows you down with that bumper hanging, floating around at the back. But there we can see the first 5 cars that sort themselves out. Andy Priaulx back a little bit at the moment, but he's now got a little bit of space in front of him to try and catch the BMWs and the 1C left in front.
And look at Balsan down the inside of Alex Zanardi. He gets through. Zanardi's forced out wide, and Tarquini comes past. Zanardi on the dirt collects it back up. So Tarquini moves up, and Zanardi loses another place to Salvatore Tavano, and Jan Magnussen down the inside of him as well. My goodness, this is fantastic stuff. On board with Diefenbacher. Hold on. It didn't get sideways enough to save that one. He saved the huge spin, but couldn't keep it on the track. And Diefenbacher, as David says, dragging that windsock down the straight behind him now. Wow, breathless stuff. Garcia still leads. Could this be the first ever European touring car win for Antonio Garcia? It's looking, with all the scrapping going on, as that's entirely possible. Jörg Muller second, Ricard Rydell third, as we watch there from Dirk Muller's car, the back end of Rydell's Seat, and there there they are from the outside. Zanardi 12th. Well, that was at the end of the last lap, but I'm sure he will be able to make it a little further up the order. It is so busy. In fact, Tarquini is ahead of, we know, Zanardi and Baltzan as well, so that's already a lap old. There is Kurt Mollikins chasing hard as well. He's charging up the order.
Tom Cornell, I think.
Tom Cornell, you're right, yes.
Come up and right in behind those MCs there.
Yeah, Cornell with a different look on the colour scheme of the car this weekend. And whoa, again, Dirk Muller trying desperately to find a way through, just jumping on and off the throttle as he tries to find some drive to get past Rickard Rydell, but Dirk just couldn't get the traction hooked up there. Rickard is giving a great account of himself, as you said, in race one from the back to 8th, and here he's really enjoying, for the first time, a competitive front end of the grid scrap, David, and that's great for his motivation as well as the team.
It is, without doubt. He's got a good third place there, but you can see further back in 5th, behind this car, behind the 43 of Dirk Muller, is Andy Prio now. He was behind, he was about a second and a half behind. He managed to catch up, so he's right there behind. So I think he's going to wait and see what happens in front. There we see exactly what happens. Dirk Muller up the inside, taking that overtaking past Rickard Rydell. They've been trying hard for quite some time now to get past. Here we see it again, up the inside. He's just put himself on the inside. Nowhere for Rickard to come to get down the inside, not without a crash. There's no point in crashing and not finishing the race. Rickard wants to finish the race the same as everybody else. And now you see, coming up to this hairpin, you're going to see Andy pull out and try and do the same thing, outbrake him. Rickard's covered it, he's gone down the inside, and he's taken a wide line. He'll try and come out the inside. Unfortunately, Muller's got in the way, and Andy's had to lift off at the last minute. Muller's gone back into the front ahead of Rydell, and Andy's still stuck in behind Rydell. But they're working very hard here. Nobody's giving an inch, and Rickard knows how good the car is. He's trying very hard to try and keep it there. He's only one place away from a podium. He would like very much to be on that podium, foresee it. You know, they brought him in as a third driver. He was the one that was well experienced in touring cars, and he wants to show that he's definitely worth it, and wants to hang in there to get that podium position.
Battle for the lead is intensifying as well. Garcia and Muller, as Rydell, the other Muller, and Prio squabble. Garcia really under pressure from Jörg Muller. Jörg Muller, don't forget, 2 points off the championship lead at the moment, and if he can win this race, he'll take the lead away from his teammate and ahead of Andy Prio as well, but he's got all that success ballast as well, and that will really be a great result for Jörg Muller, with a 30 kilo success penalty if he can go away from here as the championship leader. Well, it's very close indeed. Now, the extra 30 kilos doesn't sound like a lot, 30 kilos. I mean, it's only the weight of a small sort of 10-year-old child or something, but it makes a big difference to cars. Here comes Prio down the inside, looking for 4th place from Rickard Rydell. Gets it. Can he hold on the exit? Yes, he can. So BMW's 1, 2, 3, 4. As you said, David, Rickard's still in that battle, the three-way battle for 3rd, but he'd already seen Dirk Muller ease away. Andy Prio got by him in the first of the overtaking opportunities down to the 2nd gear, 2nd corner. And as they come along the parabolica, Prio with the inside line, defending hard, late on the brakes. Rydell around the outside, can't get by him. Oh, smoking heavily there from the brakes. My goodness.
It could be that he's had a touch at some point. It might just be the tyre rubbing the bodywork, but we can't see the smoke now. But maybe it was just the brakes. Certainly that's when you come around that parabolica all the way from the highest speed you've got on the circuit down to your first gear corner. That really is hard work on the brakes.
Now there is Diefenbacher in the pits, and looking like he's feeling a bit second-hand. Big spin for him. We saw him go off into the gravel earlier. Are we going to feel an impact? No. He was, it looked like Zanardi going around the outside at the Opel curve. Maybe he spun on his own. Maybe contact from Zanardi from behind. Not sure. But Diefenbacher out of it anyway. Zanardi, his teammate Garcia, out front still, as Alex struggles at the moment in 10th place with Gabriele Tarquini. And there's two great characters. There you are. There's a dinner table, Tarquini and Zanardi together. What a great dinner that would be. Meanwhile, Garcia and Jörg Muller with Dirk Muller in 3rd. Can Dirk Muller from 3rd place make it 2 wins this weekend? That would be a phenomenal weekend for him. Jörg Muller in 2nd place, and Antonio Garcia still holding off the Schnitzer cars with Andy Prio in 4th spot. Rickard Rydell 5th. Hockenheim in 6th, ahead of lead independent Luca Rangoni, then Tom Coronel, then Gabriele Tarquini. In fact, now just got ahead of Tom Coronel on the last lap in 8th place. So Tarquini, David, gets the point. Now Rangoni's got to be the target to get 2 points and then try and work his way up maybe to the tail of Canet.
I think he can try and do that. That's what he'll be aiming for, I'm sure, to try and get that. But here we see the BMWs now. Garcia's trying desperately to hang on to that lead from Dirk Muller. Dirk's had 1 second place already, he just needs another one, and he'll just, you know, keep mashing those points up. But he won't want to settle for second, he wants to be first, he wants to be ahead of Garcia. We've seen before, like the first race, Garcia was there in the front, very difficult to pass, but once you do get past him, like Andy Prio when he got past him, was able to actually stretch away. Garcia, a very difficult person to overtake. He really has a very wide car indeed. You've got to remember, these people are in exactly the same cars. Maybe 1 or 2 small differences in specification, but very, very little indeed. And they're back in 4th place. We can see Andy Prio trying very hard. He really is hanging on to that car right out across the curb he was the last time. He's not actually making any time up at all. In fact, he's actually dropped back 1 place.
Yeah, that was a mistake. You just called it, David. Andy Prio hanging it too far out, and he's lost the place back to Ricard Rydell. Goes from 4th back down to 5th place. And I wonder whether he just didn't have any fresh tyres for this second race. Garcia still holding on with the Schnitzer boys 2nd and 3rd behind him, Jörg and Dirk. And Andy Prio then dropping down the order behind Ricard Rydell. 4th and 5th has changed back once more. In fact, Prio slowing. Oh, I can't believe it. I was just saying in the break between the races, I don't think I've ever seen the BMW GB car retire from a race, and now I can't believe it. It is actually going to happen. Andy Prio pulls off and stops. 2nd in the championship by 1 point behind Dirk Muller starting this race, and now Dirk Muller is on target for a podium finish, certainly, and Prio will come up for the first time all season with a no-scoring race, and that is an absolute disaster and a disappointment for the BMW GB entry.
Yeah, Andy will be very disappointed with that because he's been scoring points all the time. He had obviously fantastic, he just had 2 race wins on the trot, the one we've just seen here at Hockenheim and the one on the second race at Magny-Cours a fortnight ago, so he'll be desperately disappointed on that. But further back we can see the Seat now in 4th place with Ricard Rydell. But these 2 Works BMWs trying very hard to get past the Rivalia Italia Spain BMW in front with Garcia driving. As we said before, Garcia can make the car very wide indeed, and he was trying so hard. We've seen in the first race he actually did manage to fall off under pressure, so maybe these guys sitting here, Jörg and Dirk Muller, are just going to sit there and pressure him and just follow him and see if he can make a mistake without actually trying to dive down the inside and maybe making a mistake and getting some damage on their car. Maybe if they just sit there and put some pressure on him and see if he'll make the mistake, and they'll just say thank you very much and pick the place up.
Now the other thing, of course, that we've got to remember from Magny-Cours, when Jörg was leading from Dirk this closely and made a mistake at the hairpin, Dirk Muller had absolutely no qualms about diving inside and taking the lead away from him. So Dirk Muller certainly will have absolutely no problem with going by Jörg, as he did in race 1 in Magny-Cours, if he gets the opportunity to here. So despite the fact that they're run by the same team and they're both BMW Team Deutschland cars, I have to say that effectively this is 3 drivers in 3 near identical cars, all of whom are more than happy with beating the other 2 to win, teammate or not. And there is Andy Prio walking back in, disappointed with that. Brakes, I think, Dave.
You see him using his hand. That looked like he was saying there was something wrong with the brakes. We did say, you said you've seen the smoke coming off as they're coming into this corner after the parabolica, and it looks like something's happened to the brakes, whether the brake pads faded or fell apart or what, I don't know, but that's the retirement.
So Andy Prio out of the race as it's a BMW top 3.
With KW, the sports shock absorbers specialist.
Back live just past the halfway point of round 8 of the European Touring Car Championship, and finally Antonio Garcia has been passed for the lead by Jörg Muller. Antonio locking up deep in the complex section. Let's have a look at how that happened while we're away. Well, down to the hairpin, it's the red arrows, or the white and blue arrows. Jörg Muller out to the inside, and Dirk Muller looking inside as well, and do you know what? He nearly got by, and now he does, into the first corner. I beg your pardon, not into the first corner, into the stadium section, through the mobile corner. He dives down the inside, and that's an impressive place to go by. As we saw from the onboard lap, that's a flat in fourth gear corner. That's a 100-mile-an-hour plus move up the inside. And I wonder if Garcia is struggling with brakes at the moment. Well, here's the hairpin replay. Dirk was inside him, just couldn't get the power down, David. He just went in so tight, couldn't stop the wheels spinning enough to outdrive Garcia off the corner.
No, but he managed to get a good run down into the next one, and as we've seen in qualifying with Diefenbacher's lap as short as round, that was a flat in fourth stroke fifth gear, and how you manage to go past somebody when they're already flat out, I'm not sure, but maybe this late in the race when their tyres a little bit more worn, is no longer flat, and if Garcia just had the smallest lift, then Dirk was straight down there. So we've now got Jörg out front and Dirk in second place. Here we are. This is what happened. Yes, he was just down the inside, and he looked as though he either changed up. He must have changed up. I can't be changing down into there, not unless you're doing something not quite right. But there we are. You got the two Mullers, and as you said before, they are out to race each other, and race each other they will, very hard indeed. They both want to win this race. There are no team orders at this moment in time. It's too early in the championship to do that. And as we've seen at the last round at Magny-Cours, when they were overtaking each other, but look at that, they've got the two cars with the most weight on. Jürgen Müller with 40 kilos on, leading the race. Dirk Müller with 30 kilos on in second place. These BMWs around this twisty circuit really are capitalising, and very much Jürg is having to shut the door on Dirk in order to try and keep him back.
He really is.
This is real racing between these three drivers.
Yeah, they're not putting on a show in any way, shape or form. Jürg Müller's car looking like a real handful. Dirk Müller, perversely with a little bit more weight, actually looks like it's handling a tad better, and that can't be the war. Now, of course, it's Dirk Müller with 30 and Jürg Müller with 40 kilos, but wow, both of them absolutely no quarter given a rush. You know, it almost might still go Garcia's way. He's got to hang on there, because if they out-fumble themselves under braking, there is a chance that he could get by both of them once more, and if he does, don't forget, it's taken them nearly 10 laps to get by him. Both of them could all be to his advantage, and he's sticking to the job in hand. This will be his first podium of the season, if he manages to finish in this place. Garcia hasn't had the best of fortunes this year, but it looks like an all BMW podium lining up here. Behind in fourth, Hockenheim and Rickard Riedel, fourth and fifth. Gabriele Tarquini now in sixth position, and here comes Dirk. Jürg Müller runs out wide. Dirk Müller alongside him around the parabolica. He's got the shorter run up to the hairpin. Dirk Müller on the outside line as they get to the braking area, and yes, Jürg Müller does hold on, but here's Garcia. Wow, Jürg Müller in the middle, Dirk Müller on the outside. Garcia can't come down the inside, but can he get second place from Dirk? He dives into the inside. The two Schnitzer cars are going to be split by the Ravaglia entry. Jürg Müller leads out, Dirk Müller in third place, binged out at the hairpin. He's got half a lap left. Can he put the move in on the mobile corner through the Spitzkurve up to the second gear left-hander here? Garcia with smoke pouring off that damaged left front corner. Or was it damaged, or is that just a shadow on it? Now second, third, fourth, and Dirk Müller using all the road, most of the runoff area and some of the catch fencing as well. Flat through fourth, fifth gear here, and down to the second corner Sachs curve. David Leslie, he's got every ounce of racing fibre screaming to throw the car up the inside, but it's just too close.
It is, it's very close indeed. They're just now on the last two corners coming up to try and finish this race, so that overtaking manoeuvre that Dirk tried has actually cost him a position.
Incredible. Jürg Müller holds on, a monster slide from Dirk Müller, showing just how hard he's trying. Jürg Müller's brake lights came on there across the line as he wins race 2, round 8 of the championship, and Jürg Müller becomes our third double race winner of the season. And side couldn't stop Garcia coming back inside him. So it really was a BMW weekend. The Alpha Challenge almost withered on the vine, and the Seats faltering as well. Jörg, Dirk and Antonio between them. Then Hane, Riedel and Tarquini, amazingly, from 19th, got up into 6th position, and vital points that might be so critical at the end of the season. Well, let's catch up with our winner, Jürg Müller. So the BMW drivers very much in the hunt. Jörg and Dirk first and second. Tarquini came here as championship leader, still only trails by 7. Andy Priaulx 1 win and 1 DNF.